Hello everyone. Hope you all are fine and taking care of yourselves. Welcome back to your English Literature online classes of class 3rd. Student, in the previous video we have started chapter number 4, The Parrot Who Would Not Talk. Okay, half of the explanation of the chapter was already done. Now I'm going to continue with the remaining portion. So I request everyone to take out your books and open page number 54. Here it is. Lesson number 4, The Parrot Who Would Not Talk. Okay. So one more time I'm just giving you a quick revision of the chapter. Okay, then we will continue with the remaining portion. So The Parrot Who Would Not Talk, the author of the story is Ruskin Bond, who is one of the India's most loved children's author, right? And The Parrot Who Would Not Talk is the story about a parrot that was not quite like other parrots. Okay, so one more time I'm just reading the story for you and I'll make you explain the story. Okay, student, then we will continue with the remaining portion. Okay. So when I was growing up in Missouri, almost everyone kept a parrot or a parakeet. Sometimes these birds became great talkers. They would say things like study, child, study, and don't be greedy, don't be greedy. So what Ruskin Bond is saying that when I was growing up in Missouri, almost everyone nearby his house, they used to keep parrot or parakeet as a pet. Parakeet is also a type of bird, small bird with green feathers. So everyone liked to keep them as a pet, and they taught them talking also. So what they used to talk, the parrots used to talk like study, study child, don't be greedy, don't be greedy. So these words were picked up by the bird after some member of the household has repeated them many times in front of him. So how the parrots or how the birds are learning these words? They are learning these words from the members of the house, right? But our parrot refused to talk, right? So they were also having a parrot, but he refused to talk. He would been bought by Aunt Ruby from a bird catcher who had visited all the houses on our road. So from where did the parrot came? One bird catcher came to their house and then he or she sold that parrot to Aunt Ruby. Okay, so Granny and Grandfather were not keen on keeping a caged bird as a pet. Okay, they don't like, Granny and Grandfather don't like that, and the bird should be kept as a pet. Even I don't like, because we used to keep them in a cage. That I don't like at all. Okay, from my point of view, the animals and these types of bird must set free, right? So in the same way, Granny and Grandfather don't like at all that the bird should be used for the entertainment and all. But Aunt Ruby insisted, so the parrot came into the house. So she bought the parrot and tried to teach him to talk, but the parrot did not like her at all. Okay, so Aunt Ruby tried a lot of time to teach the parrot, but the parrot did not talk at all because the parrot did not like Aunt Ruby at all. Kiss, kiss, she would say, putting her face close to the bars of the cage, but the parrot would back away with anger. So whenever Aunt Ruby came closer to that parrot, he was just what to say, not responding to Aunt Ruby, right? Because the parrot did not like Aunt Ruby at all. Okay, student. Now, one day the parrot suddenly dived forward and knocked Aunt Ruby's spectacles off her nose. After that, she did not like the parrot anymore. She started making face at him and calling out, "You're useless, can't talk, can't sing, and can't dance." Right? So, what happened one day when the parrot was very hungry? What he did? He just dived forward and knocked Aunt Ruby's spectacles off her nose. So, from that day onwards, Aunt Ruby disliked the parrot, and whenever she used to see the parrot, what she would say? She said, "Oh, you are useless. You cannot dance, you can't sing, and you cannot talk at all." So grandmother then put me in charge of feeding the parrot. So now what author is saying, then afterwards grandmother gave me the duty of that parrot to feed him. Right. So he was quite happy to take green chilies and ripe tomatoes from my hand. So now, student, this time the parrot was very happy because who is feeding to the parrot? Author is feeding to the parrot. right? So this time the parrot was very happy and he was just eating each and everything whatever the author is giving to that parrots. I also gave him slices of mango. So what does he used to give him? He used to give him green chilies, ripe tomatoes, and slices of mangoes as well. This gave me the chance to eat a few mangoes myself. So what Ruskin Bond is saying, कि whenever I used to give that mangoes to the parrot, at that time I also eat some slices of the mangoes. One afternoon, while everyone was in the dining room, I gave the parrot his lunch, and by mistake, I left the cage open. Seconds later, the bird was winging its way into the freedom of the mango orchard. So, what happened one afternoon, student? When everyone was in the dining room, the author gave the parrot his lunch, and by mistake, what happened? The author left the cage open. So, after some time, the bird was winging its way into the freedom of the mango orchard. Now, what is the meaning of winging here? Winging means he just flied away. The parrot, flied from the cage. At the same time, grandmother came onto the veranda. Grandfather came onto the veranda and remarked, I see your aunt's parrot has escaped. So, what happened next? At the same time, grandfather entered into the veranda. Now, what is the meaning of veranda? Veranda is an open space in front of the house with a railing around it. So, at the same time, grandfather entered into the veranda and he said, I see your aunt parrot has escaped. The door was quite loose, I said with a shrug. So, what I said then? That the door was quite loose. Now, what is the meaning of shrug here? Shrug means to lift your shoulders as a way of showing that you do not know something, right? So, the author just lifted the shoulders and he said, the door was quite loose. Okay, he was just giving excuse to grandfather. So next what happened? Aunt Ruby was upset. I thought we would never see the parrot again, but a few days later I found the bird sitting on the veranda railing. Unselfishly, I gave the parrot half of my mango. So at that day, Author thought, oh, the parrot has left now and he would never come back to our house. Now, Aunt Ruby was very upset because, yes, somehow she bought the parrot, so she was having some kind of feelings about the parrots in her mind, so she was also very upset. And the author was also thinking that he would never see the parrot again. But what happened? That after few days, the parrot came back again and he was sitting into the veranda railing. The parrot was sitting into the veranda railing. And what the author is saying, that unselfishly I gave him the slices of mango. Okay, half of the mango he has given. Now, while the bird was enjoying the mango, Aunt Ruby came out of her room and cried out, Look, there's my parrot. He must have missed me. So, when he was enjoying the mango, who was enjoying the mango? Parrot. So, when Parrot was enjoying the mango, at the same time, Aunt Ruby came out of her room and she saw the parrot and she got excited and she cried, There's my parrot. He must have missed me. Right, student? आपकी भी अगर कोई चीज़ खो जाती है और फिर आपको वो मिलती है तो आपको ऐसा लगता है वाओ व्हाट यू फाउंड राइट इन द सेम वे आंट रोबी ने जब अपना पैरट देखा तो शी गॉट एक्साइटेड एंड शी सेड ओ उसको मेरी याद आ रही होगी इसलिए वो वापस मेरे पास आ गया right? So, with a loud swag, the parrot flew out of her reach and perched on the nearest rose bush. He glared at Aunt Ruby and screamed at her in my aunt's familiar tones, You are useless, can't talk, can't sing, can't dance. So, what happened next? जैसे ही उसको आंट रूबी ने देखा और एक्साइटमेंट में वो चिल्लाने लगी तभी एकदम से वो जो पैरट था वो वहाँ से उड़ गया स्वैग स्वैग मीन्स अ लाउड नॉइस मेक बाय अ बर्ड सो उसने एक लाउड नॉइस करी और वो वहाँ से उड़ गया और पास में जो एक रोज़ की झाड़ी थी बुश बोलते हैं रोज़ का पेड़ जो झाड़ियों वाला होता है उसमें जाकर बैठ गया एंड उसने आंट रूबी को देखा अजीब से एक्सप्रेशन से एंड इन द टोन आंट रूबी स्पीक उसने भी वैसे ही टोन में बोला पैरट ने क्या बोला यू आर यूजलेस कैन टॉक कैन डांस कैन सिंग So Aunt Ruby went ruby red and ran inside her room. So at that time, Aunt Ruby got very angry. Why she got very angry? Because the parrot repeated the same words in the same tone as Aunt Ruby said. Aunt Ruby जैसे parrot को बोलती थी, same उसी tone में parrot ने भी Aunt Ruby को बोला. तो रूबी इज़ अ टाइप ऑफ स्टोन, है ना, रूबी इज़ अ टाइप ऑफ स्टोन एंड दैट इज़ रेड इन कलर. तो वो वैसे एकदम से गुस्से में लाल पीली हो गई और भड़कती हुई अंदर अपने रूम में चली गई. But that was not the end. The parrot became a regular visitor to the garden and veranda, and whenever it saw Aunt Ruby, it would call out, "You are useless, can't talk, can't sing, and can't dance." So student, it was not the end. So after, means sometime or whenever the parrot like, he visited to the house or into the veranda or into the garden, and whenever the parrot used to see Aunt Ruby, the parrot used to shout, "You are useless, you cannot dance, you cannot sing." Okay, so the parrot had learned to talk after all. भले से उसने वही बातें रिपीट करी, वही चीज़ें बोलनी सीखी जो आंट रूबी बोलती थी, बट वो बोलना सीख गया. ओके, सो आई थिंक फ्रॉम माई साइड द मॉरल ऑफ द स्टोरी इज़ कि हमें जो भी सिखाना है, वेदर दे आर एनिमल्स और वेदर दे आर स्मॉल किड्स, हमें अच्छी बातें बोलनी चाहिए. हम अगर जो भी बोलते हैं छोटे बच्चों के सामने या ऐसे पेट्स के सामने, तो वो वही कैच करते हैं. ओके, सो वी शुड बी वेरी पोलाइट. Okay, student? So now in homework, what you all need to do is page number 57, word wall, name of the birds. You have to do this, name of the words, right? So in this, what you all need to do is, student, with the help of the pictures dictionary, complete the crossword given below. So here, as you can see, pictures are given of the birds and the names of the birds are also written here. You can see the names of the birds are also written here. So here, across and downside hints are given. Across means this side, likewise, and down means this side. Okay, so you have to find out the name of the correct birds. From here you can take help, from here you can take help, and then you have to fill over here in the boxes. Okay, let me solve one for you. Across one, a bird that hoots, a bird that hoots. So it is on number 2. So where is number 2? Here is number 2. A bird that hoots, and this one is across side, likewise. So the first word is O. So which is the bird that hoots? That is owl, and it also starts with O. So what we will write here? O-W-L, owl. Okay, student? In the same way, you have to fill this word grid. Let me read the questions for you. Number 6, a brown songbird. Number 7, a bird of prey that soars high in the sky. Number 8, a tall, long-legged bird that is usually brown, white, or grey. Number 9, the national bird of India. Number 10, a bird that lays its eggs in the nest of other birds. Now downside one, this side one, likewise. A bird with a large curved beak, a bird that peeks all day long, a bird that carried letters from one place to another in old days, a pink water bird. Okay, so I hope you all have understood the story as well as the homework. So one more time, you all have to go through the video. You have to practice for reading, and you have to complete your homework also. Okay, in the next video I'll show you the answers of the question, means of this question. Okay, at that time you can match down whether your answers are correct or wrong. So now we'll meet in the next video. Till then, all of you stay home, stay safe, and take care.